Hello there, racetrack fans. Cregor here from Motorsport.ie. Here I am this weekend in the Phoenix Park. Just going to do a lap of the Oldtown circuit here. So here we go, it's On Your Bike with Motorsport.ie. Just this the start finish line here on the main straight in Chesterfield Avenue, which is named after the Earl of Chesterfield. He was the Lord Lieutenant of Ireland in 1745, and the road here is named after him. This is the main straight. The first race was here, was the Gordon Bennett Speed Trials. That was in 1903, when there was a 1 mile sprint and a 1 kilometre flying sprint, all the way from here all the way down to the Gough Monument, which is down where the roundabout is, where the zoo. You can just see the Phoenix Park Monument, and the base of that was actually modified to let the cars go past. And we come up here now, be right hammer, and this is Dublin Corner, Dublin Crystal Corner, more commonly known as these days. Very tight, a lot of cars off into the grass here. And Fergus Dalton famously hit the lampstand there on in 1997, leading way to one of the most famous photographs of him mid-air with the car disintegrating around him. So we're here now, we're on to Knockmaroon Avenue, and this is the run down to the Furry Glen. It's basically a triangular circuit. It's the Oldtown circuit, and this was used from 1950 to 1955, 1983 to 1985, and ever since 1993 onwards. Of course, there's many different configurations of track that have been used here in the park. So after the speed trials, it was 1929 when the Irish Grand Prix was held in the park here, and that was on the Grand Prix circuit. Walter Sexton and Edward White, they were the brainchild behind that, and they actually had the Phoenix Park Monument moved out of the middle of the road and over to the gates of Ars and Uachtaráin, so it didn't interfere with the race. And it's only in the last 20 odd years that it's been moved back out into the middle of the road on Chesterfield Avenue. So we're coming up here now to what will be the chicane. There'll be a chicane installed here for the race meeting, just to try and slow the cars down a bit on the run down to the Furry Glen. This is all, you can't drive down through here anymore, but it'll be all opened up. There'll be a left-right chicane. Some more famous incidents happened here at this chicane. One of the former famous ones, you've probably seen it on YouTube. Robbie Allen rolling his car. It's one of my videos, and it wasn't actually the Robbie Allen rolling his car that made the thing famous. Jimmy Furlong came through, and his nose was split and bent back. Looked like a seagull. I don't know if you can just see the deer out to the right here. They're resident here in the park. But yeah, it looked like a seagull. So ironically enough, it's one of the most famous pieces of footage of the Phoenix Park races. 500,000 hits on YouTube. They make a chicane out of plastic bollards. And you can see now what makes the place special is the trees either side. Some of them will have straw bales in front of them, especially around the corners and that. But on straights like this, they just leave them to it. The American Ambassador's residence is into the left, and if you look out to the, oh yeah, you're racing. Out to the left here, that's known as the 15 acres. That's where Pope John Paul II said his mass in 1979. I can see there the deer are out there today, but I don't know if you can see them. Lots of people using the amenities of the park here. Plenty of barbecues going on today, even though it's a bit of a dull day, and I'm doing this sort of between the showers. Thousands of people use the park every weekend, and of course on race day the joggers are famous for jumping the barriers and carrying on up the road even though there's racing going on. They think just because they ran that way every day for 20 years, they should be entitled to ruin the racing on people. So this is one of the fastest parts of the track now as we come down and into the furried lane, which is a hairpin. I'm back onto the public bit of the road here now. There's only sections of it that you can't drive. You can't drive through more than anything else. And we come down now and it's a right hand turn for the furried lane. So the marshal's supposed to be out on the left. When it used to be televised, you'd have a crane there with the camera up on top, catch the cars coming all the way down from the chicane down here. And you want to get your braking done by here really, and just try and stick to the inside. And of course if you stick to the inside you run the risk of running wide on the exit, and they'll have a few concrete bollards just along here to try and stop the cars going off. There's a bit of a gully there. That's Oldtown Wood over on the left hand side. That's what the track is actually named after. Other names of tracks here, there's a few different configurations of the Oldtown Track, named after Mike Hawthorne. He won the World Championship for Ferrari in 1958, and he also won the Le Mans 24-hour race in 1955, I think it was. We're just coming up here now past Rose Cottage, which a lot of the workers in the park live in some of the buildings and lodges that are around here. And we're heading on up. This is Ordnance Survey Road. The last Formula 1 car to grace this circuit was Jean-Christophe Bouillon, and he drove a Williams. Rotmans sponsored the park for a few years in the 90s. 1995, Jean-Christophe Bouillon drove a Williams car, a Formula 1 car around here, and famously ended up in hospital with back problems, and the bottom of the car was destroyed because the track was so bumpy. It's been resurfaced a lot since then. The following year then, Jacques Villeneuve, he came and he drove a Dodge Viper around. They didn't want to let the Formula 1 car out again, so he did a few demo laps in a white Viper. The sound of that car between the trees, simply fabulous. Here we are now. Here's the Ordnance Survey in on the left. That's the road is named after that, and that was formerly Mountjoy Barracks. It was opened in 1728, and that was where the mounted escort for the Lord Lieutenant used to base themselves in there. And the Ordnance Survey moved in 1824. Tinker's Path is just the little run up to it, and that goes on across into the fields. So following Jacques Villeneuve, Damon Hill came, and he was the world champion when he came here. He came in 1997, and he did a few demo laps in a Renault Spider. Again, they wouldn't let the Formula 1 car out. Mind you, Dan Daly, he brings out the big cars, and the Liebers are here racing for the Dublin Grand Prix last few years. Him, Ken Foyles, a few of the Lieber lads. Great to see savage cars racing around, and as I say, the noise between the trees, simply fabulous. Here's one of the wetlands of the park in here. That's Quarry Lake, and that's just sort of, there's plenty of them just to aid the wildlife, the flora and the fauna. Farmley houses are in and away to the left. That was a home of the Guinnesses, and that's been taken over by the Irish State now. And you see the cars coming out there. White's Road is the name of that road, and it used to lead, there's a gate down there, but they don't open it anymore. There's a food market down in the park today, and a plant sale. I've been down there, got a bit of lunch, a bit of sirloin steak. Gonna go home, fire up the barbie. Here we are now, we're on the run up to Mountjoy Corner here, and if you were to go left here, it'll bring you down to the Castleknock Gate, and if you were to go straight on, the Cabra Gate is just over the far side. So I'm not sure what they're going to do. This roundabout's been installed since the last time the park races were run. It used to be just a right hand turn. So there was word of them removing it, but really tight corner, and you get the cars running out wide here Don't know what they're going to do now about those granite curbs, but if they were to run them around the roundabout, or even put in a little extra bit of road to the right, it should be okay. This has been resurfaced as well, the main straight. We're back onto the main straight here. You can see all the cat's eyes there. Don't know whether they're going to lift them, but I'd say your eyeballs will be rolling going down here 140 miles an hour in flat out in a car. You can see the fencing over to the left there. MCD held a few concerts here a few weeks ago now it was. Don't know why that fencing is still there. Very slack in taking it back down. So here we are, we're back onto the main straight. If you get good drive now out of the Mountjoy corner, you can make up your places on the run to the line here. When the original Grand Prix was on here, there was grandstands along here and hundreds of thousands of people. If you ever seen the photos, 2-tier grandstands lined this straight, and even on a bad weekend, you get 20 or 30,000 Dubliners to come down and watch the racing, as it's a free event. So we're back at the start finish. That's the Oldtown circuit of the Phoenix Park. This has been Cregor for Motorsport.ie.